HPC stands for High Performance Computing, and by High Performance Computing we mean any form of computing that needs to take place away from a desktop because the computing scale, in terms of the hardware, makes it too large to support. The Exascale is the very top of the tree in terms of the most performant machines that we currently aspire to. There isn't an Exascale machine available in the world today. What it represents would be 10 to the 18 floating point operations per second. Another way of saying that is a quintillion of such operations per second. And currently the fastest machines in the world are probably doing 10 to the power 17 floating point operations. So we're still one order of magnitude away from the Exascale. High performance computing in the modern era involves machines which are extremely large, and by large here we tend to mean in terms of the number of components, the number of cores, the number of processors, the number of nodes. And when you have a machine which has so many of these components, it gets increasingly difficult to deploy any given application on them. Conventionally, a supercomputer would have a monolithic single code running on it. But in the modern era, this form of parallelism doesn't easily support very big monolithic codes. What ComPat is trying to do is show how you can combine multiple components in a multi-scale context, which means different levels of computing from a potentially microscopic scale. It could be, let's say, quantum mechanical from a chemical or physical point of view, right up to a continuum level. There's no way you could do a single scale simulation from an electronic structure level to describe an aircraft wing. But by linking one kind of component to others along the hierarchy, you can transfer information up to a scale that does represent a genuine high fidelity description of such an aircraft part. And that needs all these parts to be placed on that very large machine and to interact with each other in ways that are quite varied, and we categorize them into patterns. And those patterns have structures that we've developed generic forms for. So this kind of application should be able to be deployed on these machines in the future, given that the design criteria we know they have, to be very effective.